When you have a frozen sewer vent, use the Sewer Skewer. It fits any size vent and can be left in year-round. So it's one and done when it comes to installation, making it so easy to protect your farm, ranch, or home. Visit sewerskewer.com to see their many locations.
Well, middle linebacker for North Dakota State, Jackson Hankey, with us. And Jackson, before we talk about the matchup in the game and, going up against James Madison, let's talk about the haircuts, because sometimes we get here and some people have mustaches. I remember were 1 or 2 years. Other times they're doing something different with the locks. So what made the haircut decision for some of the guys here, specifically on the defensive side here, Jackson?
We just try to make it fun. I really didn't have any plans to do anything this year, but I saw a lot of other guys doing it, and they kind of encouraged me, and I couldn't say no. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing it. I think we look good personally, and. It's just it's a fun thing to do. So, is there something? Is there a barber, so to speak, on the team? Is there like someone that you specifically go to for these guys to get a little cut? Logan McCormick's one of my roommates, and he did mine, and he did about 5 or 6 other guys, and I know Jasir Cox did quite a few as well. So.
You look at this matchup now once we get to Saturday morning for 11:05 kick against James Madison. When you pop the tape on for JMU, the first time that you kind of saw them, what stood out for your spot, and what's going to be a challenge come Saturday here, Jackson?
They're obviously a very talented team. The first thing that really stuck out to me is they got some big playability. The quarterback is very talented. He's a very good deep ball thrower. They got some receivers that can go up and get it. They got some receivers that can outrun you. So we have to be very sound on the back end and get a good pass rush out of the front. They definitely present a challenge, but an exciting one at that. They're a very good team. There's no doubt in my mind they'll be the best team we've played this year. They're certainly a good matchup. They deserve to be here, and I just look forward to it. So
I know there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on today, tomorrow, outside of the actual football with the Miracle League stuff, the Texas Bowl, and everything else. And how much do you get to enjoy it while you're still here for business at the same time? I know you guys are trying to win a football game come Saturday, but how much can you at least savor some of the moments leading up to kickoff here, Jackson?
Yeah, we try to keep it pretty light. Of course, it's a business thing, but we still try to have fun when we're down here. And this is one of the better experiences I've had of anywhere I've been. It's a lot of fun, and we do quite a few different events. I know the Miracle League is something you mentioned that is a really cool event, and we've been down there. This will be my 3rd year going, and there's kids that remember us. They remember specific faces on our team, and they're the same kids that have been there year after year, and that's really cool to see. That's been such a cool event. It makes you very grateful. It humbles you a bit, and it's just been really cool. And then as other events, I know we're doing something different this year. We're going to Top Golf instead of the main event in Frisco, so I'm looking forward to that. Not that I'm much of a golfer, but it'll be fun anyway. So
he's a middle linebacker, Jackson Hankey, with us. Let's talk about the little things that you mentioned. I mean, building relationships down here. How much do you kind of all of a sudden being down here for your 3rd time, do you go, I remember that face even as a player? Is that something that you look forward to as much as, yes, there is a football game, but you look forward to maybe seeing some familiar faces down the Frisco area?
Yeah, definitely. There was one specific kid in the Miracle League that I was paired up with my freshman year while I was here, and he was there last year, and I'm hoping to see him again this year, so for sure. You
go to this game, and we already talked about the matchup a little bit with JMU, but as a linebacker and your spot, what's going to be a key? Is it going to be, okay, they got Polk out in the slot, you got to make sure where he is? Is it talking about their running game, or is it about containing lanes with Ben Janucci, or is it all of the above here, Jackson, once you get to kickoff?
Yeah, it's all the above. There's definitely a whole lot that goes into it. I promise you, we've put a lot of effort into our game plan and how we're going to execute it. Those are all things, like you mentioned, that we're going to be keyed into. We're going to know where number 3 is. We're going to know what the quarterback's tendencies are, what they like to do on certain downs and distances and certain personnels and things like that. We've definitely done our homework, and now we just have to execute it. So.
Final thing for you, Jackson, for this year's team to come back down here and have a chance to, go 16-0. What does it say about this year's team? Obviously, there's still 60 minutes of football left, but to have that opportunity to go undefeated, what does it mean for this year's squad?
It means a lot. I think people forget, it wasn't that long ago, even in the spring, in the winter, leading up into the season, I don't think many people thought we were going to be as good as we were. As there is every year, there's kind of a lot of people predicting the demise, and we always knew what we had. We knew what we had with Coach Hentz. We knew what we had with Trey and a lot of other younger guys that have stepped up. And, to kind of prove ourselves, I think we definitely had a different attitude coming into this year. It was one that, we were a little bit chip on our shoulder type this year. There was a lot of new faces and nobody was sure what to expect. And for us to come out and play as well as we have, that says a lot about this program and about the people involved in it. So,
Jackson, as always, thanks so much for your time throughout the season, and best of luck come kickoff Saturday morning.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Michael, first things first, let's just talk about NDSU getting back here. I know coming into the season, a lot of people thought, and I know you guys heard it to some degree, of new coaches, new players, not a new system, but a lot of new, and now you're back down here for another chance in a national championship. What does that say about this year's team?
I mean, it just says a lot. Like, we took all that noise, we try to tune that out, but, we hear it, and we knew that a lot of people were betting against us, but we just do what we do every year. We stick to the formula that we have here at NDSU, and it works for us, So it just shows a lot about our resilience and, the young guys stepping up and having to mature a little bit, and now you see where we're at now.
Can you talk about the Wolfpack? Because I know we hear about the Rams, we hear about the Crew Chiefs, not to, go on the offensive side, but when you look at the defense yourself, Marquise Bridges, James Hendricks, Josh Hayes, and other guys, number one passing efficiency is got to be something you take pride in, especially when, opposite teams are going to throw the football when they're down in the game. So what is it about the secondary this year that's been so cohesive through 15 games?
We got two really great veteran leaders. That's what it starts with Keith and, Jimmy. They're great. They play a lot of football. They help, me and Josh and other young guys a lot, helping us learn, just get better. We set a standard at the beginning of the season that we wanted to be the best secondary in the nation. And I think, we've came pretty close to doing that if we haven't done so. And, we just want to continue to finish this thing off right.
I know Marquise Bridges has 13 pass breakups, 0 interceptions, but you got 7 interceptions, and that's a team lead. What is it about this secondary? Because I know Matt Ants always preached throughout the season, got to get more interceptions. We've got our hands on a lot of footballs. What has it been about your opportunities when you made the most of them so far here, Michael?
Just making them. Like, we can't, like you said, Coach Ince said, we can't keep dropping picks, and we gotta get turnovers. So just making the play just comes down to making it. You got to just be that playmaker and just being able to step my game up a little bit in the playoffs mode. We got to turn everything up a notch and just, like you said with Keith, all the pass breakups he gets, he's a great playmaker. They might not be interceptions, but all those matter. So
Bison safety Michael Tutsie with us. And Michael, you got 3 interceptions in 3 straight playoff games. If you get one here on Saturday, you'll break the school record for at least postseason interceptions. What is it about the playoffs that you've just kind of maybe, not to say risen to another level, but just been found your spot at the right time?
I think it comes down to just the atmosphere and, we're in playoff mode now, so that's what it has to be. And just my teammates rising their level of play rising up, and just coaches expecting what they expect out of me, and just, I come out and play and execute.
Quick word or two on your opponent in James Madison, 14-1 on the season. Their only losses to West Virginia. We've heard a lot about Trey Lance, but you got a pretty good one on the opposite side in Ben DiNucci. You look at Stapleton and Polk and some other guys that they have. What stands out about James Madison when you first put them on film, Michael, and what's going to be a challenge come Saturday morning?
I don't think they make a lot of mistakes. I think they know their identity, and their offense flows well, and they're going to run the ball. That's what they do. They love to run the ball, but they are, like as the names you stated, they're explosive in the passing attack. So we got to be ready for that when it does come. But we just got to do what we do as a defense. Final
thing for you: once you get to kickoff at 11:05, I'm going to be specific here, not 11:05 on Saturday morning, where we're standing right now at Toyota Stadium. Fill in the blank. For your team to win, for NDSU to win, you'll have to do what?
Play great defense, score in the red zone on offense, and win all special teams battles.
Michael, as always, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck come kickoff on Saturday.
Sir, thank you.
Well, with us now, offense coordinator for the Bison, that's Tyler Roehl. And Tyler, first things first, I always ask the coaches and the players this: does it ever get old? And I always hear it never gets old, because every year's kind of a new season. Is that the proper response to that, just to say, does it ever get old getting down here and playing for a national championship in Frisco?
No, not at all. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is really hard to do, and you can't take this for granted. we put in so much time, work, effort, energy into getting to this point. So no, it never gets old. We need to embrace this opportunity and just take it day by day down here.
You look at James Madison, how much different or how much similar are they from 2 years ago when it was a Coach Houston-led team? Now it's Kirk Signetti. Do they do similar things defensively, or what's going to be different from what you saw from them in the 2017 title game, Tyler?
Yeah, there's some similarities as far as different pressures and in coverage-wise. But the biggest thing that pops out on film to me is how fast they play. Both defenses, looking back to the prior time we played them to now, it's just they understand what they're doing. They get to their fits really fast. They're good in man coverage. They've got really good athletes, but so do we, and excited for the matchup.
Now you look at your squad. I was going through some of the stats yesterday, and I was looking at the crew chiefs and the tight ends, right? In between Babbage and Ellefson and Gendorf, 16 touchdowns on the season. And then you add in a Christian Watson. We know what he was able to do at Montana State, a healthy Phoenix Sproles. You got a Capurus in the slot. Does this feel like this is one of the most talented years in terms of, if we're not just going to look at the running back and the fullback, just the number of guys that you have that can go make a play in space and maybe go get the football down the field?
Yeah, I think our biggest goal as a staff is to find our playmakers and put our playmakers in a position to be successful and make sure they know what they're doing so they can just cut it loose and play fast and get the right matchups. So you look at the tight ends, they've done a really good job. Even, Hunter's done a good job catching the ball out of the flat and the tailbacks. But then when you throw in what the wide receivers have been able to do as far as Phoenix and Christian and Jimmy, it adds a whole different dynamic. We want to be an under-center based football team and be able to run the football. But when you can do some different play action and run action under center, that just opens up a whole different ball game for defenses. So our matchups and our personnel has been in favor. Our new coaches and what they've been able to do with some of our young players, the biggest message all year is this is a race to maturity. As fast as you can grow up, as fast as you can understand what we're doing, the more you're going to play for us. And that's been exciting to see throughout the whole year is how fast our kids have grown up and just their attention to detail and willingness to compete and want to improve.
Bison offensive coordinator Tyler Roehl. Tyler, you look at this matchup, and JMU only gives up 60 yards on the ground rushing. I know a lot of people have talked about that, and we can talk about the play on the line. But how important is the tight end spot to also be an extension of the line if you want to get those stretch plays or those sweep plays to crack down on an end and really set the boundary here on Saturday?
It's huge for this game because the defensive ends for James Madison are really good football players. And I've told our position group, it's almost a game within a game. Our matchup in the tackles matchup against their defensive ends, if we can contain them, if we can do a good job blocking them, we're going to have some success. If we struggle, then we're going to struggle a little bit. So it's almost a game within a game. We need to do a good job of containing those two and just attack them in different ways.
Last thing for you, Tyler, is this a game where you want to, throw the football down the field and take some shots early, or is this just a matchup of, hey, kind of duke it out early, probe a little bit, see what's there both offensively and defensively once you get to kickoff Saturday morning?
I think the biggest thing is what are the conditions going to be? So if it's a windy day, if it's a rainy day, obviously you're going to want to, control the ball. Field position is going to be huge. But we'll see. I think the weather will dictate what we do a little bit offensively.
Tyler, as always, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy this week down here, and we'll see what happens on Saturday morning.
Always do. Thank you. Go Bison.
When you have a frozen sewer vent, use the sewer skewer. It fits any size vent and can be left in year-round. So it's one and done when it comes to installation, making it so easy to protect your farm, ranch, or home. Visit sewerskewer.com to see their many locations.